Hey, how y'all doing out there? It's me, the King of Comebacks, 2 Ks at the end. This is Creating Greatness Podcast, and today I want to talk to you about how to lose weight without working out. Now, I'm not here to minimize the importance of exercise. We all know that there's many fad diets, there's many products out there on the market to try to teach you how to lose weight and all these things, cultivate the discipline to be able to do it and actually keep the weight off. But I've lost over 75 pounds and it's been off that weight for years. While I fluctuate a little bit, the majority of that weight definitely is off, still off, and still working my weight down from 273 pounds to now, and even 200, trying to get down to about 185 where I really feel comfortable. But I don't want to get too lean, you know. I need to keep a little something behind, you know what I mean? But everybody's different. We all feel different. We all feel comfortable different, and that's perfectly okay. But if you don't like exercise and you also want to lose weight, this video may be for you. So number one, we got to become aware. Now, a lot of us out there have a food addiction. We don't even know it. We don't even know it, man. Figure it out. Think about it. Do you eat when you're upset? Do you eat when you're angry? Do you eat different foods when you're in different moods? Do you go to food for comfort? Do you go to food when you're bored? All these things could be signs of a food addiction. Do you have a healthy relationship with your food? Do you appreciate? Do you understand where it comes from? Are you eating heavily processed foods, GMOs, stuff sprayed with pesticides and chemicals? Or are you trying to implement some organic, raw fruit and veg into your diet, which will really increase your vitality? So having that awareness that you actually do have a food addiction, it doesn't have to be a huge problem. You don't have to be overweight to have this addiction. It just, do you use food for more than just fuel? I understand we eat for taste. I understand people love to cook. I love to cook. I love to feed my family. I love to invest the food with energy and love as I'm doing it. But that is a healthy side of it. There was a very unhealthy side of it for me where I ate too fast. I ate too much. I ate when I was upset, all different things. So becoming aware of it, that number one problem was the start of the solution. And that's with all problems. We have to become aware of it. So that's number one. Number two is set the battlefield. Set the playing field, man. Sun Tzu, The Art of War, read this book a long time ago. The art of deception is the general's best weapon, but this isn't it. This is picking the battlefield, choosing the battlefield. You own your home or you rent your home. That is your personal space. You have the ability to set that playing field up exactly the way that you want. And what I mean by this is through your shopping trips, focus those days. Don't go in hungry. Don't go in with a sweet tooth. Go with your healthy mindset. Plan your meals. This is what I want to eat this week. This is what I want to eat this day. This is the times that I'm going to eat these things. And not having those sugary sweet snacks, those alcoholic beverages, or anything else that you may be tempted to do that you don't want to do. It's as simple as that. This whole self-improvement thing, this whole self-mastery thing, this whole creating greatness thing is moving ourselves toward our very best self. So there are many things about ourselves that we're starting to figure out that we don't particularly like about ourselves that may be holding us back from being more successful, more in shape, more loving, more kind, more caring, more generous, more genuine, you know? And these are the things that I'm talking about, and this is why I say set the battlefield. Keep your home pure. There's enough negative vibes. There's enough toxicity. There's enough chemicals, junk food, alcohol, drugs, any vice that you possibly can have. There's enough of it out there in the world, but at least when you set your playing field up, you set your home up in the way that you want it, you'll have to go through more layers of thought and then effort. We talked about this on an old episode. Layers of thought, filters of thought, and layers of effort. So those filters of thought are like, do I really want it? I gotta call DoorDash, I gotta get dressed, I gotta get in the car, I gotta drive to the store, or I gotta drive wherever this product is, that is something that is a lower self decision. So those filters of thought give you opportunity to stop and pause and think, man, we're gonna go get dessert. Do we really want it? Do I really want to be lazy the next day? Do I really want to be lethargic? Do I really want to have to go extra hard in the gym because I just ate some nonsense at 8, 9 o'clock at night when, you know, grabbed a pizza and a pint of gelato, you know, because that was my thing, you know. But whatever your thing is, you know, you just fit that in the equation. But those filters of thought and then the layers of effort, well, now I gotta get dressed, now I gotta get in the car, now I gotta get on the app and order the DoorDash and spend double the money that I would have spent for it had I just planned for this one, day a week where I'm gonna have this, and I bought it in the store, and that's that. So those layers of thought, filters of thought, and layers of effort will put that blockade, that stop sign, that pause in the addiction, in the chasing mindset, in the urge and compulsions, where if you have it right in front of you, or if you have a very easy access to it, there's very little time for you to grab control of yourself. But with all these different roadblocks in your way, it at least gives you the time to go through all those emotions, figure out whether you really want it. And if you do, then hey, go ahead out there, have it, enjoy it, and know that, hey, I cheated, I know I really wanted it, I enjoyed it, and now we're gonna get back on track. So that's number 2. Number 3 is eat slow. Eating slow for a couple different reasons. Number 1 is that eating slowly, chewing your food meticulously, getting it really, really broken down, it mixes with your saliva, the food mixes with your saliva. It starts the digestion process right there within the mouth, so that as it makes its way down to the stomach, it eases the efforts of the internal organs that are used for digestion, makes their job a little bit easier. And a lot of times with the way we eat, the foods that we eat, and sometimes the speed that we eat, it can really lay a heavy burden on our internal organs and cause damage, especially if we're going to bed on full stomachs and things like that. So eating slowly allows your body to fully digest the food, and therefore more thoroughly absorbing the nutrients that are within. Number 2, your body takes a little bit longer to catch up with your brain in this respect, where you may not feel full, maybe your brain's starting to know it, but your stomach doesn't know it. But if you're caught up in that, man, this tastes so good. Like me, I get caught up in the taste of certain foods, where if I've fasted for a long time and I'm really hungry, I'll get caught up in the taste of it, and I'll eat fast. But sometimes when I catch myself, wow, this is a little bit more normal. This is more than you normally eat. I use physical distance. That's number 4. But the eating slow is what tells me maybe that there's something else going on here. Maybe you're caught up in the taste of this. It's so delicious. You're so hungry, and you're ravenously consuming this food. Slow down. Allow the brain and the body to catch up with each other. Figure out, okay, yeah, maybe I am full. And if you really don't know, that's number 4. I use physical distance. I just step away. And this is a 2-piece attack here. Use physical distance in the old days we used to call push-aways. I'm working out, I'm doing push-aways, push away from my plate. Sometimes I'll get up, I'll walk around, I'll go to a different room, maybe just go about a task that I was previously doing, just for a moment or two, and then I go back to the plate. If I'm still hungry, I finish. But I finish in a slow, controlled, conscious appreciation of the food that's there, and consume it in a proper way. And therefore, really knowing, hey, I was still hungry, I needed this, and I'm having it. Or you come back and you go, man, I'm not even hungry. I was totally caught up in the moment, totally caught up in this delicious taste of this food. It had been a while since my last meal, and I was really digging in. But now, after that physical distance, I know now I feel a less of a desire to dig back in like that, and I'm going to go ahead and leave it pushed away, and hopefully it won't go to waste where it's left over, someone else wants it, because we do also really want to focus on lessening our food waste within our home. And I'll do another reel about that, or another show, because that goes so deep, and it's such a huge problem that people don't realize. So much of our food that we produce is then going into the dumps, which is doing the world no good, and it's getting wasted when there's other ways we could use it. And then you hear there's food shortages, when I think it's that the number's outrageous. It's like 40 or 50% of food that we produce, it's going to end up in the dumps. So be mindful there. Use physical distance. Number 4. Number 5 is fasting, man. Fasting is an extremely difficult practice, especially if you've never done it before. I've been doing it for a few years now, on and off, and it's still difficult for me, but I've got myself in sort of a comfortable place with it. And my tip to you on fasting is just start overnight, man. Because for real, in the beginning, I don't know how you guys are, but we're being real here, man. In the beginning, it was hard for me to fast for a couple hours. I grew up on this mindset, especially working out, lifting weights all the time, where it was like, hey, you have to eat every couple hours, intake this amount of protein and this amount of calories and all these different things. And what you find out as you get older is they lie to you a lot of time, all these different food organizations that are teaching you and telling you what you need to be consuming, how you need to be consuming it, when you need to be consuming it, they're all funded by the companies that are feeding us toxic, poison food on our shelves, heavily processed, heavily contaminated, and it just goes on and on. They're all, it's all a thing. But we're not going to go into that as well, because we could go on and do a whole nother thing with that. But I cheated with the fast. I did it overnight, man, because I couldn't do it. Even for a couple hours, I just struggled. I started doing it overnight. I started having my dinner about 7 p.m. And then I fast till 7 a.m. 12 hours. It's not that bad, because you're sleeping for 7 or 8 hours of it. So you take a couple hours in the evening, and then an hour or two in the morning, and now you got yourself a pretty respectable fast, right? But then, because there's certain benefits that will start to kick in at different times, like the HGH production and the testosterone boost and the other feel-good chemicals. Things will start happening in your brain, certain healings, and I don't want to get into all the science of it. I don't know all the science of it. I'm not going to sit here and portray that I do. I looked into it enough. But the number one thing is I did it, and I noticed a difference within my life. So at that point, a lot of the science and the particulars became obsolete to me. I knew it, I did it, I felt it, and that made me keep doing it. So as I continued to do it, because I felt these benefits, waking up on an empty stomach, focusing on an empty stomach like I am now, or doing certain things on an empty stomach, or waiting till certain times to eat and then consuming those products in the appropriate way, the appropriate time. And I started putting all this together like a recipe. You always hear me about put your recipe together and you'll find the success, but it has to be your formula. So I start putting together my formula, and fasting's a big part of it. So then I start shaving a few hours. Now I'm eating dinner at 6. I'm not eating till 8, Now I'm eating dinner at 5. Now I'm eating dinner at 4. So now most days, not all days, depending on the schedule, traveling, things, my wife working or not, the kids, you never know what's going on. But most days, when I stick to my routine, I eat from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. and then I fast for 16 hours. 16 hours is good for me. I try to push it to 18 sometimes if I ate bad or I really want to get that extra detox in. But that 16-hour has provided me a high level of success. And what it really has done for me is make me understand that I don't always need food for energy, man. Having that gap, having that time without food. You go back 1 or 2 years, people weren't eating 2, 3, 4, 5 meals a day and consuming all these calories and all these different varieties of food. So what I found to really help me be successful was simplifying my diet. I eat eggs, I eat tuna fish. I eat very little else, man. I eat nuts and fruit and seeds, but I eat eggs and I eat tuna. A lot of very, very, very simplified. And it has helped me so much. And I tell you guys about this because it is a game changer, man. It is an absolute game changer. So shave, start late and eat early, and then shave a little bit off, shave a little bit off, shave a little bit off, and you will realize I don't always need food for fuel. I don't always need caffeine for energy. I don't always need external stimuli to become passionate or excited about something, man. It's all already within me. It's all already here. And this is my gift to y'all, man. It's just to continue to share this message of love, peace, and joy and contentment, to tell you that it's possible to come from severe degradation and poverty and sadness and misery and addiction and all these different things to be who I am today. It is possible. I'm the average Joe. Anything that I've done, you can do it. You can probably